one story, one fire, one friend. Present. Human.
History has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. You can't separate peace from freedom, because no one can be at peace unless he has his freedom. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. The ultimate measure of a person is not where one stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where one stands in times of challenge and controversy. The need for change bulldozed a road down the center of my mind. We must open the doors, and we must see to it they remain open so that others can pass through. Black History Month isn't just in February. To me, it's every month, it's year-round. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. If you have come to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you recognize that your liberation and mine are bound up together, we can walk together. One day our descendants will think it incredible that we paid so much attention to things like the amount of melanin in our skin, or the shape of our eyes, or our gender, instead of the unique identities of each of us as complex human beings. In a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist. No matter how big a nation is, it is no stronger than its weakest people, and as long as you keep a person down, some part of you has to be down there to hold him down, so it means you cannot soar as you might otherwise. In this country, American means white. Everybody else has to hyphenate. For it isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it. If we accept and acquiesce in the face of discrimination, we accept the responsibility ourselves and allow those responsible to salve their conscience by believing that they have our acceptance and concurrence. We should therefore protest openly everything that smacks of discrimination or slander. Ignorance, allied with power, is the most ferocious enemy justice can have. None of us alone can save the nation or the world, but each of us can make a positive difference if we commit ourselves to do so. To bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. We will fail when we fail to try. There is no such thing as race. None. There is just a human race, scientifically, anthropologically. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. The ability to triumph begins with you, always. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. The very serious function of racism is distraction. It keeps you from doing your work. It keeps you explaining over and over again your reason for being. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. You can't separate peace from freedom, because no one can be at peace unless he has his freedom. None of us alone can save the nation or the world, but each of us can make a positive difference if we commit ourselves to do so. Black Lives Matter simply refers to the notion that there's a specific vulnerability for African Americans that needs to be addressed. It's not meant to suggest that other lives don't matter. It's to suggest that other folks aren't experiencing this particular vulnerability. Racism in America is like dust in the air. It seems invisible until you let the sun in. Then you see it's everywhere. As long as we keep shining that light, we have a chance of cleaning it.
I kindly request your support by subscribing to my channel and hitting the like button on my videos.